Do I regret not finishing?
Regret what an idiot.
Okay, back to serious.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Welcome back to Significant Brothers. It's our Craw Daddy episode. We're at Cajun Podcast now.
Yes, sir, boy. Hey, need some little Cajun rice?
We're eating.
Baby.
Do you actually know how to eat those?
Not even a little bit.
No, Abby. That's,
We're eating crawfish, Daddy.
Crawfish brains, boy.
We're eating crawfish down here in the bayou.
This episode, you might not capture much words from all mouths.
this is Abby's first time eating crawfish.
How's it taste, Abby?
We got it from a bodega.
You got it from a little boy.
From a bodega in Rutherford. What's the name of the place? Shut them out. Free ads.
It's
feeling
called
generous.
Boy the Good Hoy.
How'd you hear about this place?
I just looked up crawfish.
Ew. You haven't eaten here before?
I have.
Oh, okay. All right, Leandro.
Yeah.
What?
The drunkenness has wore off. Time to get down to business.
You did say last episode that you wanted to talk about.
Do you have any lingering issues with the death of your father?
I think you always do.
I thought I would get serious.
I think no matter what,
Jack just gave me
you have.
the craziest face.
This man's in the middle of crawfish. You can't
I
ask him
think
that
no matter
question.
what, you'll have
It's
some
how the brothers bond, you know?
unsolved issues with a person.
It's the day I fear the most.
Yeah, I can see how you'll, you know.
I mean, my dad's like my dad's my best friend. He's the
'Cause there's-
closest person to me in the world.
Yeah, because there's, you know, I feel like sometimes it's worse for it to happen all of a sudden. You know, like one day to the next, boom, now this guy's never going to be here. But I feel like with my dad, it was such a long and drawn out
Process,
where
yep.
it was like.
You trusted the process.
You actually more so want them to die just so that they're done
Suffering pain.
suffering. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
can feel that.
it's tough.
So it's like, it's bittersweet. You know, it's like, oh, it sucks that he's gone and I didn't get to say what I wanted to him. But again, he's, you know, doing.
Do you believe in the shit like my mom believes, like going to the fucking cemetery and talking to the bones?
No, I think that's bullshit. You know, it
My mom
helps
goes to
you-
talk to my grandma. I mean, to my grandpa all the
It
time.
helps you.
I think it's just like a coping thing more than anything.
I cry every time I go.
Because at the end of the day, you get to know somebody, so you can have like theoretical conversations with them. You know, like you grew up with your mom your whole life, so you don't even really need to talk to her to get advice from her. You know what I mean?
Do you have a lot of like flashbacks about growing up with your dad?
I mean, I don't think there's a day that goes by I don't think about my dad.
Really?
No.
You were very close to him?
I wouldn't say I was the closest to him, but you know, he's your father. For a long time, that's all you knew.
Yeah, yeah.
A big portion of your life was only your parents.
Do you like canonize the dead people in your family? I do that a
What
lot.
does that mean?
So canonize is you give them like sainthood, so they did nothing wrong, even though like
No.
we're all human, right?
Nah, I think that's part of it. That's part of who you are. You can't be who you are without.
Humans
Like
are
I
perfectly
said-
imperfect.
Like I said last episode, you have to get to know who you are. You have to understand that you're not perfect. You're not God. You make mistakes.
You're not God. You're not my
and you
father. I'm
can't-
the bagel boss.
You can't. You know, sometimes you have bigger things in life. Let's say you have two parents, right? Let's say you have two parents. Your dad cheats on your mother, right? Sometimes you have to look past shit like that because at the end of the day,
Oh yeah, I
the
agree.
second you have a child, your life now becomes about your child. You have to think about how your own petty little internal demons can really fuck up your child at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Small things to you may be very big to your kid who then he has a personality disorder when they're older, you know, because they didn't know how to, you know, analyze anything.
There's a
that was going
day I
on.
think about all the time, and when we were in Hawaii, there was a homeless man on the side of the road, and he had a sign that said, "I'm Jesus Christ."
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like,
Maybe
what
he
if he
is.
actually was? And
I
we
think
just
about that a lot. I think I do a lot of
because isn't
calculations.
like technically, theoretically, like he could just come back
you know
and
what I was thinking about?
try to preach his
To me-
word and try to get away from the devil of society.
Listen, my whole life at one point was revolved around studies of religion and looking for the similarities between them all. And to me, Jesus sounds like he was just a Buddhist. Jesus claims that he disappeared for a couple of days, hid in a cave, and came out as the Jesus that we know, the almighty, powerful Jesus. And Buddha did the same exact thing.
Crawfish and talking religion. This is what
I
the
think
South
he
is
just-
about.
I just think he attained enlightenment. He was one of a couple. And I think that, like, let's say how many people were in existence back then, right?
Do you think this is what Mitch McConnell does when he draws up a bill to get rid of women's rights?
I was gonna say we're like one very problematic step away from being true Southerners.
I think a woman should be able to, Amanda actually asked me this the other day. She goes, why do so many people use the Bible to
Like shield themselves
to reinforce
from
abortion and stupid shit like that? And it's like, people have to realize the Bible's 2,000 years old. If you don't believe in brutally stoning someone to death, you have to also, look at it in the sense where
This is living, Jack.
This is such a weird episode.
maybe this is a little old, old belief. And you got to look past it. You can't just say that things that were okay 2,000 years ago are okay today.
So-
Don't be a fucking hillbilly.
What would you say is your greatest takeaway?
Oh, but what I was saying was, like, if we say that,
Like,
the
if you were
population of
theoretically a prophet and Jesus Christ himself, what would be your teachings besides what you
Jesus,
said?
you'd have to play it real safe. You'd have to understand that with whatever Jesus was trying to preach, when the Bible came out, it was many years after he had died. He never proofread this shit, so you have to assume that people were.
He never had a
using-
copywriter.
Exactly. I mean, I think the Bible came out hundreds of years after he died. I think what he was doing was probably perfect, but people took his. You gotta future-proof your preachings. You have to make it in a way.
Jack's
where it's
waving his head. What's wrong,
open
Jack?
This is the worst episode ever for like having these headphones on because you're just like now gnawing into the microphone.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good idea. Put it in the
almost-
crawfish
It's
sauce.
almost like a diversion.
We went fully Rogan this episode.
I could be telling you guys that I'm fully enlightened right now, but all you hear is the crunching. You should be talking to Jesus right now, Abby.
So how can we pivot?
How would you react?
Well, you wanted to
if
talk
that happened?
if you found out that Leandro was Jesus.
That was Jesus. Like the day of reckoning comes, and we're all at a party. We're at a bar. I'm winging you.
It would be-
And I just start glowing.
What
like,
would you
it
do
would
if
be
you,
fucking sick for our subscribers.
Yeah, I'll
What
make
would
sure
you do if you
guys-
found out that Leandro was a ghost?
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, he already said that it's gonna happen one
What
day.
you know about me? If there was a heaven and hell, do you think I'm going to heaven?
I think you're a good man, Abby. I think you're a good.
What do you
guy.
think my biggest fault is?
Your big? Oh fuck! This is disgusting looking. This one.
Jack, what do you think my
If
biggest
I
fault
said
is?
you had a sin, if I had to pick out of the 7 deadly sins, I'd say you probably have
Syphilis.
you're prideful. What would I say? You probably envy people, do you?
I do.
Do you envy
I am a
people?
big
I was
envy
gonna-
guy.
I can
That's
see
that's
that.
probably what I.
Is
would
that
have
one of the
thought.
7 deadly sins?
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
much about
Envy.
religion.
Envy? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of them. I think. Yeah, I see that.
Why? So why is that exactly?
I
a
think there's
deadly
like
sin?
people that you put on pedestals
Exactly.
and
the only
like
person you should be prideful.
you
of
kind of
is
like compare
Jesus.
what
All
you
the
do.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say yours is.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, like I keep
So how do you stop from doing that?
focus on yourself. Like I keep saying,
It's so hard.
Your entire life is based on you understanding yourself. Why are you wasting your time trying to understand Jack? Why are you trying to understand me? I'm going through my own things that I will never tell anybody. So you'll never understand me. The only person that is completely honest with you is yourself. I don't care if your father is
I
your
feel
best
like-
friend.
I feel like
there's
you-
things he's done that he's never gonna tell you.
I feel
Ever.
like
Same
like
thing with your mom.
I feel like yourself is the person sometimes that you lie to the most.
I mean, yourself and your ego are two different things. A lot of things your ego.
I like really understand what Leandro's saying right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But yeah, that's probably what I would have
Your
gone with.
ego
just
keeps
like,
you down. Your ego's trying to keep you centered.
Well, Jack, you know me
here.
better than Leandro. So what do you mean by that?
No, I'm just saying. I think there's a lot of times where like you compare like what you do versus like other people, and
Yeah, like for me, I don't care what you've accomplished, Abby. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to be your friend. I'm happy to be in this existence with you, with Jack, with Kayla. A lot of times I think to myself, like, do I regret not finishing?
Regret. What an idiot.
okay, back to
Reverting
serious.
back
What
to
a-
a baby.
All right, sorry.
regret it.
I regret this podcast
Like,
so much,
I regret
Abby.
it, but
He's
if
about to regret that.
if
but-
I had finished school, I would have never met my significant
Maybe if you
other.
finished school, you would have
I would
regretted
never
it instead
met
of
you
regretted
guys.
it.
I would probably become an evil guy. You know what I mean?
You know what my mom said to me, texted me the other day, and this should be fuel for fodder for the podcast for the rest of history. Ready? I looked at it. So she heard about the podcast from my uncle, right? He found it
Snitch.
on the
Snitches get stitched.
Fuck you.
Find you, Uncle Lardo.
Fuck you, Jose Texo. So she finds the podcast, and then she texts me.
Oh Lord.
Hold on.
She goes, that Leandro boy is real cute.
Hold on. She said,
What's his deal? He's
that
single?
Leandro, yeah, that Leandro's dude.
Mom, you
dick
can't
is-
ask that
She's like,
question.
is he really Dominican? Or is
She
he
goes,
above?"
Abby, love you so much. Thank you for breakfast. What a surprise. You always outdo yourself, extremely thoughtful, and I'm so proud of you and all that you do.
This
You
seems
will-
like mostly a flex right now. You're just like, no, this totally has to do with the podcast, but my
mom's
mom
great.
loves that.
Hold on.
I buy her breakfast and she thinks I'm
She
pretty.
goes, you know what, Leandro? You read out the last 3 lines. So the last line of this and then the other 2 lines.
I'm so proud of you.
No.
Oh,
The last
you
line.
will someday be podcast king. Never stop believing. Shout out to Uncle Joe. LOL. That's the guy who snitched, right?
Yeah.
Fucking snitch.
He's trying to increase the community for us.
So, you know what? Sometimes we always try to find like the doubters in society, and we're like, why don't people support us? And they're supporting you all around you.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be here if we weren't trying to support like your
Yep.
idea of
Great.
putting together a funny podcast.
Exactly.
As
So always remember
as we
that.
go through our like most serious
And
episode
all
of
we
all
gotta
time.
do is stick with it, and it'll definitely become something. This is just like a little.
You think
plant
so?
we planted.
and
I
stop
think
eating
so.
crawfish into the.
I think so. I think we're
microphone.
gonna figure out where we lie in the algorithm. Once we find our community, or our community finds us, this will flourish. You know what I mean? We just have to guide the world into believing in us.
This is crazy, this episode.
Crazy crawfish.
I'm looking at Abby's hands from here, and they're just disgusting.
This is where Abby realizes I'm enlightened. It's all the not drugs I've done.
So, birth announcement pictures.
Oh, you have a woman pregnant?
Oh, Jesus Christ. You scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, the girl that I met at the bar the other night.
My balls off.
If you had a one-night stand right now, Jack,
Balls while I eat this fish.
and you got her pregnant, would you feel the need to like make sure that the relationship
Wasn't
stayed
this-
together for the kid?
Wasn't this the premise of like a movie?
40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
So would you feel the need to stay with the woman? Obviously, you're not going to like pressure. It's her body, her choice. But I'm saying, would you feel the need to stay with her just to make
That'd
it
be a
work for the
weird
kid?
scenario,
I think
really.
it all depends on like, if it was just like a one night stand, I would have to like spend more time
You
with
gotta
the.
evaluate who this
Yeah,
person
like I
is,
got to
yeah.
spend more time with the girl because if it's like, if we end up spending time together and we fucking hate each other,
Exactly.
then what point is it? What good is it to like stay together for the kid if
You
we're
gotta
just
keep
gonna
your distance,
if it's
yeah.
gonna be like completely
That's
toxic?
what I'm saying. You got to really
Yeah.
weigh out what the fuck is best for the kid versus.
Yeah, I think I'm responsible enough in that way that I would like recognize that.
Because also lying to your kid for his entire life, making it seem as if you're in a happy relationship, even though the entire premise of the entire relationship was that you
Right.
fucked randomly, would also fuck up your kid. You know.
And also, I'm saying
Don't
just in
realize.
general, like if the dynamic between me and this girl was just like really shitty, and
Oh,
this
of
kid
course,
just had
yeah.
to grow up in a shitty environment, then
That's worse
I'm not.
than it being in a separate.
Yeah, I'm not doing any good to the kid by like being with this woman just for the sake of like being with this woman.
Exactly. I agree.
Why does this crawfish taste like cologne?
I don't know. Its eyes are white compared to all the other ones whose eyes are black. So
That one's still alive.
Wow.
Ew. Oh,
Once
God,
you
that
go
looks
into
I
the-
don't know
gross
what
from
the
here.
fuck is with that.
Once you go into this
Oh.
crawfish, you never go back.
He took his head off weird.
Oh.
Like I can see the gills right there. I think you can take the meat out of the claws too.
All right. That's the episode.
God.